Oi boys, welcome back to another video on the channel. We are back on Rugby 25, back for another update. This is update number 17, which is kind of insane. So you will notice that we are skipping updates. Our last update had nothing to do with gameplay, so I didn't think it was worth dropping a review. So I skipped it in hopes that today's update would be a beefy gameplay update, but I'm here to tell you that unfortunately it is not. As far as patch notes go, I do have that on my other monitor, so we'll quickly read through that while we play the game. There isn't much to go through, just further tweaks, no significant gameplay changes. The first, they've said balanced evasion effectiveness, and that's basically them turning down all that sidestepping and all that fending the computer was doing, I believe. If you saw in our previous playthrough, there were so many fends and sidesteps happening, bodies flying all over the place. It looked quite ridiculous at times, to be honest. So they've gone ahead and readjusted that, and it is immediately noticeable. It seems as though they are struggling to find a balance, not only with how the AI breaks tackles or breaks through the defensive line, but just the gameplay in general, which we will talk about later on after going through these other patch notes. That's annoying. We're still not catching the ball on the full, which results in a opposition lineout. Corrected defensive tri-area kicks, and I'm assuming that's to do with clearance kicks. I may be wrong, but I'm not going to be testing those things out per se. I'm just going to be playing this match here on the hardest difficulty, and if we happen to fall into that situation or go for that, then we'll get to testing. I want to ultimately give something that's watchable, you know. But yeah, the context says corrected occurrences of inability to kick the ball when in the defensive try area. I think that's an AI thing. Is that what I was talking about, them not being urgent enough in getting the ball away? Or maybe it's the kick interference. And the last two patch notes aren't really worth going over. It just says improved play now settings. This one kind of pisses me off. Home grounds will now be selected by default when starting a play now match. That is not worthy of a patch note in my opinion. I will say though, it was a little annoying having to choose one of the home teams every time I jumped in the play now. There's that and the typical improved stability. That's it. That is your April 15th updates. Like I said, update number 17. I'm going to keep it a buck. 17 updates in, I would have thought the gameplay would have evolved much more than it did, or much more than it has. Maybe I was a little too optimistic with just how much the gameplay would evolve in general with these updates. I hate the tone I'm speaking in right now. No, but yeah, these past few updates feel like something you could easily tweak with gameplay sliders if they were in the game. You know, things like break tackle ability, offload frequency, pass success rates, stuff like that. I only bring this up because I've been playing a 20-year-old rugby league game that has gameplay sliders, and messing with that kind of made me realize that this is what these updates feel like, especially when it comes to break tackle tweaks and offload tweaks and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, the game is definitely improving, but it's just improving at a damn snail's pace. If we are keeping it real here, as they cross the line. Getting back on topic here, we're going to try and trigger a contest. I did get asked how I'm doing this, and that's, you just got to kick where I'm kicking, and instead of going for a shallow kick, you want to max out the height. Now in the manual it does say to press X for contested catches, X on the Xbox controller, so if you do actually manage to get that aerial contest gauge to pop up, that's the button you want to be pressing. You want to be pressing X. This does definitely feel like the same contest system as not League Life 4 but League Life 3, but just in the way that they jump up for the ball. Oh no, I think that's supposed to be what's been patched in this update, but unfortunately they're still kicking it into each other. It is a little frustrating, and I know I'm going to sound like a broken record when I say this because I've been saying this a lot, but there is a lot of potential gameplay wise with this if they focused on ironing out to the core and added a tad bit of structure to the attack. With the game being 17 updates in, it does make me wonder if that's even possible. If it was, it probably would have been addressed by now. Or maybe they're just really focusing on trying to get all these licenses into the game, because from what I believe, or from what I've seen at least, what is this? Give me a sec here. Is that a... No, that is a bug. I thought it was a new try animation. I remember when the game first dropped, I used to hate punting because I couldn't do it properly, but now I actually really enjoy trying to hit some 50-22s and just wailing the ball into the corner in general. Oh no, the quick line out again is not smooth at all. Sometimes they happen, sometimes they don't. Throw that on the list of bugs. I think that's one of the biggest annoyances as a game dev. Releasing a game in the States, you're playing catch up with each update. As each update comes out, you'll most likely run into a new bug or a reoccurring bug. We've seen a few of them in the game so far. And we are just going to set up right here. Try and take the 3-point lead heading into the break. Oof, that is a mistimed kick. And that is a powerful kick into touch. Could that be what they meant? I think what the Rugby 25 community needs right now is some reassurance. Oh my god, you are kidding me. Is that another bounced ball? Alright. I'm compiling a list. Now I'd love to say that the losses I've been experiencing have been clean losses, but more often than not there's some fugaze happening with certain bugs that lead to tries being scored by the AI. But yeah, back to what I was saying. The community right now, I feel, needs a little reassurance from Big Ant themselves in like the form of a roadmap. I'd love for them to just confirm whether huge changes to gameplay is actually possible, and if we're going to see stuff like set plays being added into the game. When the game first came out, it did mention tactics, and you hear tactics as a rugby fan and you, well, I know I did, I thought of set plays, like actual attacking set plays, not like in Rugby 08, but similar to how they did them in Rugby League Live 4. And if you haven't seen, they've got such a flawless or such a seamless system for set plays that actually got me really excited about the possibilities of that being in this Rugby Union game. And we did not get actual set plays. What they meant by tactics was bloody formations for both offense and defense. And that's cool and all. It is the bare minimum, and I would be happy with it if it did function properly. And even those, especially the attacking formations, the spacing in that is terrible, and it has been since our formations have been introduced. I'd be interested to see if they actually go for a drop kick or a drop goal in extra time. A lot of people, I've seen people make fun of the way that the players hold their hands out if you hold X for Xbox controller players, square if you're on PS4, and it does look funny, I'll admit. But the purpose of that, or them holding their hands out, is actually the charge down animation. Now I'm unsure if there's actual animations in the game for charge downs. In Rugby League Live 4 they were super rare to come by, and you'd only really see it when you were playing another person online. I swear I've only seen that charge down animation once or twice, and that was playing against a mate of mine on YouTube actually, Insane, a Rugby League creator. We were both freaking out when we actually saw the animation play out. But yeah, so far I've been trying. You would have been seeing me always holding X, running towards players in hopes of them trying to kick the ball, just to see if I can trigger the charge down. But so far we've been unable to do it. So if you've ever wondered why I'm always holding X when running towards players, that is why. That's the whole purpose of them with their hands out like that. I did look at the controls, and it actually doesn't say that holding X is how you charge down. The last time I checked, there was Y that they had listed for charge downs here. As they do get closer, we are just going to try and jam. Oh, they were going for it, but with how slow they are to kick in this game, we didn't even need the actual animation. Try to put an end to the madness here. 14 points apiece. And we're trying to draw and pass our way to victory. Plenty of space for Timmy Ryan, and we will put a cap on this game. And ultimately, our review for update number 17, boys. If you did enjoy the video, be sure to run a share of that like button, and if you got any thoughts on what you're seeing and just the current states of Rugby 25, let me know in the comment section down below. For now though, we are going to call it there. Thank you all for tuning in, and I'll see you later.